There comes a time in every person's life when you realize that your mind is either your greatest weapon or your biggest enemy. Most people think that success is about luck, talent, or timing. But the truth is, it's about mindset. The mindset you carry determines how far you'll go, how much you'll endure, and what you'll create in this life. You can have all the skills in the world, but if your mind is weak, fear will always win. But when you build an unstoppable mindset, nothing, no challenge, no failure, no rejection can stop you from rising again. So today, I want to talk about how to create that kind of mindset, the kind that turns fear into fuel, pain into power, and obstacles into opportunities. Most people spend their entire lives running from discomfort, chasing the illusion of safety and certainty. But here's the truth. Everything you want exists on the other side of discomfort. The problem is we've been taught to associate discomfort with danger, to pull back the moment things get hard, to quit when it doesn't feel good. But growth doesn't happen in comfort. Comfort is a slow death for your potential. Every time you choose what's easy, you're training your mind to settle for less. Every time you avoid something that scares you, you're teaching yourself that fear is stronger than your purpose. The people who transform their lives, the ones who rise from nothing to greatness, are not fearless. They've simply decided that their dreams are more important than their fears. They've built the muscle to move through discomfort instead of avoiding it. Think about it. Every major breakthrough in your life happened after a moment of struggle. The first time you spoke up, even though your voice shook. The moment you took a risk, even when you weren't sure it would work, that's where confidence is born, not from success, but from surviving discomfort and realizing you didn't break. When you push yourself beyond what's familiar, you start to expand what's possible. That's how warriors are made. You stop waiting to feel ready and you start acting your way into readiness. The truth is, no one ever feels ready to change. Readiness is an illusion that keeps you stuck where you are. You have to leap first and trust that the net will appear. Discomfort is the universe's training ground. It's where your character is tested and your limits are expanded. When you embrace the burn, when you lean into what feels uncomfortable, whether it's facing rejection, taking a risk, or admitting your weaknesses, you unlock levels of strength you didn't even know existed. Most people never get there because they're too busy avoiding pain, and in doing so, they avoid growth. But the unstoppable learn to reinterpret pain. They see discomfort as a sign that they're evolving. Instead of saying, this is too hard, they say, this is where I get stronger. Instead of running from the storm, they walk into it knowing that every step through the wind and rain builds their power. When you train your mind to see discomfort as a signal of growth, not danger, everything changes. You start to crave challenges because you know that on the other side is a stronger, wiser version of you. You stop being controlled by fear and you start using it as energy. Fear becomes fuel, doubt becomes data, struggle becomes strategy. This is how you create an unstoppable mindset, by teaching yourself that the hard things are not punishment, they're preparation. Every uncomfortable moment is building the foundation for the life you say you want. Once you learn to find peace inside discomfort, life stops intimidating you, and that's when your true power begins. Failure is not the end of the road, it's part of the path. Yet most people treat it like a dead end. They fall once and they convince themselves they're not good enough, not smart enough, not capable enough. But the truth is, failure is not what stops you, the meaning you attach to it is. The moment you start believing that failure defines you, you give away your power. Failure is not a verdict, it's feedback. It's life's way of showing you what needs to be refined, what needs to be adjusted, what needs to be strengthened. The people who go the farthest in life are not those who never fail, but those who fail and still keep going. They understand that failure is simply proof that they're in the arena, doing the work, pushing their limits. Every time you fail, you are collecting data about what doesn't work, data about how to grow, data about who you're becoming. Failure isn't personal, it's directional. It points you toward mastery. But when you attach your identity to your mistakes, when you start saying, I am a failure, instead of, I failed, you trap yourself in limitation. The unstoppable mind refuses to make that mistake. They separate performance from identity. They know that failure doesn't make them less. It makes them more aware, more focused, more resilient. They treat failure as a temporary state, not a permanent label. When you learn to see failure differently, you take away its power to paralyze you. Most people quit not because they can't do it, but because they can't stand the feeling of falling short. They mistake discomfort for defeat. But the truth is, falling short is just part of learning. Every great success story you've ever heard, every entrepreneur, athlete, artist, or leader is filled with chapters of failure. They faced rejection, humiliation, loss, but they refused to let that be their story's ending. They used it as fuel. They extracted the lesson, adjusted their approach, and came back sharper. Failure became their teacher, not their excuse. The difference between those who stop and those who rise lies in one decision: how you respond when life hits you. If you get up after being knocked down, You've already won. You've already proven that your spirit is stronger than your circumstances. That's what an unstoppable mindset is, the belief that nothing you experience is wasted, that every fall can be turned into a rise. The moment you stop fearing failure, you unlock a new kind of freedom. You stop holding back. You stop waiting for perfect timing. You start moving with courage because you understand that each setback is shaping you into someone unstoppable. Every failure is a stepping stone to greatness, but only if you decide to keep walking. Perfection is a trap that keeps more people stuck than fear ever could. The desire to get everything right before taking action is what kills momentum. People wait for the perfect plan, the perfect timing, the perfect confidence. And in the process, they waste years standing still. The truth is, progress doesn't come from perfection, it comes from movement. The first version of anything you do will never be flawless, and that's okay. The key is to start messy, to start unsure, to start scared, but to start anyway. The unstoppable mindset understands that forward motion, no matter how small, is infinitely more powerful than waiting for conditions to align. Every step you take, even the imperfect ones, compounds over time into growth and confidence. You don't build strength by doing things perfectly, you build it by doing them consistently. Each mistake, each awkward attempt, each small failure teaches you something valuable that you could never learn by standing on the sidelines. The people who achieve greatness are not the ones who get it right the first time, they're the ones who stay in the game long enough to figure it out. They know that excellence is born from repetition, not perfection. When you focus on progress, you begin to celebrate effort instead of outcome. You stop beating yourself up for not being there yet, and you start appreciating how far you've come. That shift in focus is what builds unstoppable momentum. Perfectionism is just fear wearing a mask. It's the fear of judgment, the fear of not being enough, the fear of failing publicly. But progress doesn't care about fear. It only responds to effort. Every time you take action, no matter how imperfect, you silence the voice of doubt a little more. You prove to yourself that you're capable of learning, adapting, and improving. That's what confidence really is, not the absence of fear, but the proof built through repeated action. When you choose progress over perfection, you give yourself permission to evolve. You stop demanding that you have it all figured out, and you start trusting yourself to grow through the process. The truth is, perfection is a moving target. No matter how much you achieve, there will always be something to refine, something to fix, something to improve. If you chase perfection, you'll always feel behind. But if you chase progress, you'll always be moving forward. The unstoppable understand that success is not about arriving, it's about evolving. They measure growth and effort, consistency, and courage, not flawless execution. So take the shot, write the draft, make the call, launch the idea, even if it's not perfect. Because every imperfect action brings you one step closer to mastery. And mastery isn't born from perfection, it's born from persistence. Your mind is your greatest tool, but like any tool, it only works if you train it. Most people spend hours working on their bodies, their jobs, their relationships, but they never condition their minds. They wake up and immediately let fear, doubt, and distraction run the show. The unstoppable understand that the mind must be trained every single day, just like a muscle. If you don't feed it the right thoughts, the world will feed it fear. If you don't direct its focus, it will drift toward weakness. Mental strength isn't something you're born with. It's something you build through repetition, through intentional focus, through the daily decision to choose empowerment over negativity. Training your mind starts with awareness. You have to notice what you're thinking, what you're saying to yourself, what beliefs you're carrying that limit you. Because your thoughts become emotions, your emotions drive your behavior, and your behavior creates your results. If your thoughts are disorganized, your life will be too. The unstoppable mindset is built by replacing self-doubt with certainty, excuses with action, and fear with vision. It's about catching the moments when your mind says, I can't, and replacing them with, I will. That's how you rewire your brain for resilience. The more you challenge those old patterns, the weaker they become until your new beliefs take root and become automatic. The truth is, your mind is always listening. Every time you say you can't, every time you replay your failures, you're reinforcing limitation. But when you speak with power, when you feed your mind with possibility, you create momentum. That's why what you focus on expands. If you focus on problems, you'll see more of them. If you focus on opportunities, your brain will start finding them everywhere. The unstoppable protect their focus like it's sacred. They don't waste energy on gossip, drama, or distractions. They guard their mental space because they know their focus determines their future. Just like your body gets stronger when you lift weights, your mind gets stronger when you push it beyond comfort. When life gets hard, instead of breaking, you remind yourself that this is training. Every obstacle is an opportunity to condition your mind for greater strength. You start to love the challenge because you know it's shaping you. When you train your mind to stay calm under pressure, to find gratitude in chaos, to believe when others doubt, you become unstoppable. You stop reacting and start responding. You stop chasing confidence and start generating it. Mental discipline is not about being positive all the time. It's about being powerful even when things go wrong. It's about catching the storm before it takes over. When you train your mind daily through gratitude, focus, and vision, you build an inner foundation so strong that no external event can shake it. That's how unstoppable people think. They don't wait for peace to find them. They create it from within every single day. The people you surround yourself with shape everything about the direction of your life. Whether you realize it or not, your environment influences your standards, your mindset, and even the level of belief you have in yourself. If you're surrounded by people who constantly complain, make excuses, or settle for average, you'll start to absorb that energy without even noticing. The human brain is wired to adapt to its environment, and that means if you're not intentional about who you let into your circle, you'll unconsciously lower your potential to match the energy around you. The unstoppable know this truth, that you can't fly while keeping company with those who are comfortable crawling. If you want to rise, you have to be around people who push you higher. Energy is contagious. Spend time with people who talk about goals, ideas, and solutions, and you'll start thinking in possibilities. Spend time with those who talk about problems and limitations, and you'll start shrinking your vision to fit their comfort zone. That's why it's not arrogance to distance yourself from negativity. It's self-preservation. The quality of your circle determines the quality of your growth. The unstoppable mindset isn't built in isolation, but it is protected through intention. You have to create an environment that supports your evolution. That means surrounding yourself with people who challenge you, who believe in your potential, even when you doubt it, who call you out when you start playing small. The truth is, your circle will either multiply your energy or drain it. Some people pour belief into you, while others plant doubt. Some will celebrate your growth, and others will feel threatened by it. You have to be wise enough to know the difference. It's not about judging others. It's about protecting your purpose. If someone's energy constantly pulls you back into old habits or small thinking, that's not your tribe. The right people will see your fire and add fuel to it. They'll remind you of who you are when you forget. They'll speak life into your dreams when you feel exhausted. And in turn, you'll become that person for others, creating a circle of empowerment where everyone rises together. When you change your environment, your standards automatically rise. You start thinking bigger because you see what's possible. You stop settling because you witness others living at higher levels of discipline and belief. Growth becomes normal, not exceptional. That's why the unstoppable are so intentional about who they spend time with, because they understand that you can't maintain a high performance mindset in a low energy environment. You become like the people you spend the most time with. Their habits, their focus, their drive rub off on you. So choose wisely. Surround yourself with people who push you to evolve, who make you uncomfortable in all the right ways, and who won't let you forget your greatness when life gets heavy. That's how you keep your fire alive and your mind unstoppable. There's a moment in every person's journey when life tests their limits, when things fall apart, when plans fail, when pain feels unbearable. Most people break under that pressure because they think struggle means they're losing. But the unstoppable mindset sees struggle differently. It's not the end, it's the beginning of transformation. The truth is, life will never stop throwing challenges your way. You can't control what happens, but you can always control what it means to you. The moment you decide that nothing will break you, that every hardship will only build you, everything shifts. You stop seeing yourself as a victim of your circumstances and start seeing yourself as the creator of your response. That's where true power begins. Pain is not punishment, it's preparation. Every storm that shakes you is shaping you. Every setback that hurts you is strengthening something inside you that comfort never could. The unstoppable don't run from pain, they use it as fuel. They understand that life's hardest moments are not designed to destroy them, but to reveal what they're truly made of. When you shift your mindset from, why is this happening to me, to what is this trying to teach me, you move from suffering to strength, you reclaim control. Suddenly, even the most painful experiences start to serve a purpose. This doesn't mean you don't feel the pain or frustration. It means you refuse to let it define you. You don't suppress your emotions, you channel them. You use the energy of heartbreak, disappointment, and loss to dig deeper, to rise higher, to become more focused and more determined. The unstoppable mindset thrives under pressure because it knows that diamonds are made the same way, under immense heat and intensity. The very things that feel like they're breaking you are actually refining you into something stronger, something unshakable. Every scar becomes a symbol of survival. Every wound becomes a source of wisdom. When you make the decision that nothing will break you, you stop negotiating with your limits. You stop looking for the easy road. You stop waiting for life to be fair or predictable. Instead, you embrace the chaos as part of your evolution. You begin to trust that everything, even the pain, is working for your growth. The unstoppable don't avoid challenges. They welcome them because they know each one is an invitation to become more powerful. They've trained their minds to believe that every fall holds the potential for a greater rise. Once you adopt this mindset, life can't defeat you anymore. It can stretch you, it can challenge you, but it can't destroy you. You become grounded in resilience, driven by purpose, and unshakable in spirit. You no longer fear the storm because you've learned you are the storm, calm, fierce, and unstoppable. That decision, that internal commitment that nothing can break you, becomes the foundation for an extraordinary life. When you finally understand that your mind is the engine behind everything, your success, your peace, your resilience, you realize that life isn't happening to you, it's happening for you. Every challenge, every failure, every uncomfortable step has been shaping the person you're meant to become. You were never meant to live small or play safe. You were built to evolve, to rise, and to lead yourself to the next level. Becoming unstoppable isn't about being perfect or fearless. It's about deciding that no matter what happens, you'll keep moving forward. It's about building the kind of mindset that turns every I can't into I must. Because once you master your mind, you master your world. If today's message sparked something inside you, if it reminded you of your strength, your potential, or your purpose, then let this be your moment of decision. Don't just listen. Act. Every second you delay is another second you hand over to fear. Take control of your story right now, because nothing changes until you decide it will. You have everything inside you to build the life you dream of, and this is the moment to begin. Before you go, if this message spoke to you, make sure you subscribe to the channel. It's free, it's powerful, and it's where we grow together. Hit the like button, share this video with someone who needs to hear it today, and turn on notifications so you never miss the energy, the mindset, and the fire that keeps you moving forward. Thank you for spending your time here, for believing in your growth, and for showing up for yourself. Remember, your journey is just beginning, and you're far stronger than you realize. Keep rising, keep believing, and keep becoming unstoppable. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, stay focused, stay powerful, and never forget you are built for more. Thank you for watching, and take care.